All right, we're going to talk about that recent UDC matter. All right, that's been going in papers. All right, so the attorneys who represented Petrocarib Properties Limited has reached with the disseminated speculations fueled by the recent report from the former Office of the Contractor General (OCG) into his purchase of beachfront properties in Ocho-Rios St. Anne from the Urban Development Corporation. Attorney at law Hugh Hart has also warned that the company, which operates Moon Palace Jamaica Grande Hotel, oh, that's the thing I was on that was recently been talked about. I think that's what one called titled this article. Hold on. Could walk away from the US 7.2 million US deal and its planned multi-billion-dollar investment in Jamaica. Quote to quote, if they suggested it had anything to do with a shady deal, they're not going to be involved, Hart told um, the Jamaica Observer. All right. They're quote unquote, they're very straight people. They've been in business for many years and they've spent a lot of money in Jamaica. They're prepared to expand their business in Jamaica, but if people want for political purposes to put any kind of slant in it from their point of view, they will just clear out, Hart said. Quote unquote, there's a clause in agreement that if they don't start construction with a certain time, the UDC can take back land and return the money they paid without interest. You find that they'll probably do if there's any suggestion of a shady deal, added Art. I find it hard to believe, but that's just my opinion. Alright. He said at the time the negotiations started with the UDC, Moon Palace is also considering expansion of a huge piece of land owns in the Dominican Republic, which has been acquired for the construction of a large hotel. Quote unquote, the question was which one would they build first, and the decision was that if they complete the transaction here before the end of that financial year, then they could put the entire budget into one project. So they build Jamaica first and then the Dominican Republic. Now I don't know, but we'll see what happens, declared Hart. The attorney argued that the divestment by the government at less than the current market value and without advertising, specifically permitted if the divestment is for strategic purposes, determined by the government policy, or if a hotel needs to expand and the only available land is state-owned land. Sorry. According to Hart, the decision made by the UDC to sell the property for the OCG said was approximately 4.6 million US below those cumulative valuation figures, approximately 6.3 US million below the highest cumulative valuation figure was acceptable based on the significant benefits the investment would have to bring to Jamaica through its construction operation. Hart further noted that Moon Palace had to enter into specific separate agreement with the entity which held a lease on the property and right of its first refusal once it was being sold. Moon Palace also agreed that the lessee could remain in occupation without the repayment of rent, resulting in the cost of Moon Palace approximately 500 US per annum for approximately 3 years. Thus, the cost of Moon Palace now 7.2 million, also 8.7 million, Hart said. All of this is using US terms, by the way. He said the decision to sell by UDC to sell the property for below the 9.3 US billion, which is initially asked for, was the best interest of Jamaica. Sure it is. Alright, there's just a lot of this is just sounds like a lot of this just sounds like a lot of damage control. A lot of it just sounds like we're putting these fancy statements to try and hide out the fact that there's some very funny style about this deal and because if you remember like MP Daryl Vaz, who's directly involved in the sale of Moon Palace, these properties, got hit from the OC, the contractor general, and there's been this back and forth ever since. And in this article, I don't have to read it anymore. It just sounds like a lot of splaining. All right, that just sounds like a spit. Like this is just damage control splaining. All right, so like I said, like this whole deal sounded very funny style, and a lot of people should be up in arms about this because all of this sounds like they just sold up more the country, and whichever party is in power, that's just stock and trade to sell out Jamaica, whore out the country, like it's a one big prostitute, and all these foreign companies and whoever benefit the people in Jamaica, the average Jamaican citizen, we get nothing out of this, and as I said before, I meant to record this whole thing earlier last week, but the people in Jamaica, we need to start really putting our foot down because this is funny style, and these people taking the populace for idiots, and people like Vaz and some of these others, all of them should be fired or put under investigation for this bullshit. That's my take of this and so on, but. And like I said, no matter what they're trying to spin, this is just all this is sounds very funny style, and we do hope the property goes back to hands of Jamaicans, cause and a lot of these properties have been sold out by some host Negro politicians. All that needs to go back into the hands of the Jamaican people, point blank and period. All right, and enough Jamaicans have to wake up from that mental plantation and get rid of, kick out these host Negroes and these other slave masters. All right, but that's all I can say for this. This is going to stay to Jamaican Caribbean, and like I said, all this just sounds like that damage control to cover up some bullshit that was obviously happened. So go and stay to Jamaican Caribbean. Check out my other YouTube pages. Man's Goods and Fair, Man's Jet Productions. All right.